Imagine you just opened a pack and pulled the most insane Pokemon card of your entire life. Your hands are literally shaking. You've been chasing this one card. This beautiful special illustration rare that feels like it belongs in a museum. You see it, you feel the texture, it's right there. You pulled it. And then that feeling completely disappears. Because you know that out there, in another pack, is a card that makes yours look completely worthless. A card that isn't just rare, it has a tiny stamp on it that says one of one. What if one change could make every amazing pull that you've ever had feel like a second place trophy? I'm about to show you how an idea that changed the sports card world might be the thing that destroys Pokemon forever. This week, we're going to be giving away a booster bundle of 151. So keep watching so you can figure out how to get your hands on it. Now back to the video. To understand the giant earthquake that's about to hit Pokemon, we have to look at sports cards. Some of you might remember that back in the 90s, they printed so many sports cards, it was a joke. Nothing was rare, so nothing was valuable. The entire sports card market collapsed because it was overprinted and nothing felt special at all. And their solution was insane. They started stamping unique numbers on every rare card. 1 of 100, 25 of 50, or the craziest one of them all, 1 of 1. Suddenly, you could own a card that was guaranteed to be the only one on Earth. This idea didn't just save the sports card market, it turned it into the multi-billion-dollar monster that it is today. Now look at Pokemon's biggest rival, Magic the Gathering. For their massive Lord of the Rings set, they did the most extreme thing possible. They made a single one-of-one version of the One Ring card. The world went crazy. It started a global treasure hunt where everyone was looking for this one card. Someone eventually found it, and then that card sold to Post Malone of all people for $2 million. I want you to think about that for a second. A piece of cardboard made in 2023 was worth $2 million. It created more hype than almost any card in history. That set was a crazy success. Boxes were literally flying off the shelf because of that tiny, tiny chance of finding that one card. And Magic is still doing it. They're still putting serialized cards in other sets like Final Fantasy. And now boxes of Final Fantasy are selling for over $1,000, and sealed cases are selling for multiple thousands of dollars. This might be what's coming to Pokemon. Not just rarity, but a new, defined, investor-friendly scarcity. And because of the sports card market, and now Magic the Gathering, it's a proven way to create unbelievable hype and make insane amounts of money. And with the way the Pokemon company is going, I don't think it's a matter of if it's coming to Pokemon, but when. And what happens to us when it does. So why would Pokemon ever do something this crazy? The answer is in the numbers, and the numbers are truly insane. Between 2023 and 2025, the Pokemon Company printed more than 22 billion cards. To put that into perspective, more than 60% of all the Pokemon cards ever made have been printed since 2020. And they are not slowing down. Not even a little. The Pokemon Company is building a new 1.27 million square foot printing factory, which means that the future supply of Pokemon cards is essentially infinite. The days where a set just went out of print and became rare are over. We are going to be living in an age of mass production like we've never seen. This creates a huge problem for the Pokemon Company. How do you keep the chase exciting if you're printing billions of cards? How does anything have value if the supply is endless? Because Pokemon doesn't want to kill the goose that lays the golden egg, right? Their current answer is actually genius. They've given us different levels of rarity that are just beautiful. Look at the most recent sets. You have the EX double rare cards, which since Mega Evolution have been getting textured. You have these insane special illustration rares, which have become these full art masterpieces that tell a story. And in the newest sets, we have the Mega Hyper Rares, which a lot of people are reporting to have a pull rate of 1 in every 1,200 packs. Cards aren't just valuable because they're rare, they're also valuable because we have a nostalgic connection to them, or the art tells a story. Or a card could be valuable just because of how you use it in the actual game. This is the system that we have now. A system where the rarity is about the art, the texture, or the character. A system where a normal card's reverse holo can even make it feel special. It's a system that lets us all share the excitement. When someone at your local card shop pulls a huge secret rare, everyone in the room goes crazy. It feels like a win for everyone because it could have been any one of us. But this entire system is fragile. It's built on a perfect balance of production volume and pull rates. What happens when you throw a $2 million card into that ecosystem? What happens when a card isn't just rare, but it's defined by a number that turns it into a stock market asset? This is where the hobby splits into. This one change could destroy our hobby. Introducing a 1-of-1 Charizard or a 1-of-10 Rayquaza would instantly change what a chase card feels like forever. Let's go back to that moment at the beginning of the video where you just pulled your dream card. You pulled the Mega Gengar EX, and it has a pull rate of 1 out of every 650 packs. You should be screaming, but in a world with serialized cards, your first thought won't be joy. It'll be, well, it's not the numbered one. Your amazing pull, the best card you can pull in today's world, is now a consolation prize. That feeling of celebrating with your friends when you pull a big hit is gone, or it's at least diminished, and it's replaced by a ranking. That creates two types of collectors: the collector who pulled the number card, and then literally everybody else. The fun of the hunt is replaced by the brutal math of a lottery. You didn't just lose. Every other rare card you pull is now a reminder that you lost. This creates a split that poisons the entire hobby. The focus then shifts from what card did you pull to did you pull one of the numbered cards? And that completely kills the shared experience. The hobby then looks less and less like it's about collecting your favorite Pokemon, loving the art, or building a deck. It becomes a stock market about grading and money, even more so than it already is today. Forums that were once filled with people that were sharing their love for the game will be flooded with scalpers and price gouging on a level that will put the 2020 boom to shame. And if you think scalpers are bad now, just imagine what happens when a single box could have a card that's worth more than a house. This would create two different eras of Pokemon: before serialization and after serialization. Even old cards' values would be judged against this new world. An old rare card may be beautiful, but does it have the stamp? Does it have the number? The focus shifts from a card's art or history to a number printed on it. And a lot of us have already seen a preview of this. A product out of China called EVE Origins put serialized cards into a Pokemon-style game. And it did get some hype, but it came with a huge problem. People figured out that you could weigh the packs to find the serialized cards, and then sell the worthless packs to people who didn't know any better. People have always tried to find a way to game the system in Pokemon, either by weighing their packs, CT scanning them, or resealing them. But introducing a serialized card to Pokemon would bring in a whole new level of cheating and manipulation that we've never seen before. It's a massive split. One path continues collecting based off of the art and the nostalgia, and the other path leads to a world of extremely high stakes gambling, where the joy of 99.9% of collectors is sacrificed for the hype and the profit of the 0.1% who won the lottery. This isn't an upgrade to Pokemon. It's essentially a civil war. Now, because I want to be fair, we have to look at the other side. Why would the Pokemon Company, who's been dominating for over 25 years, risk making everyone mad? The arguments for this are all about money, and to some people, this does make a lot of sense. The main argument is that serialization is the only way to fight the problem that Pokemon created, that they printed billions of cards. When you're printing over 10 billion cards a year, how do you promise that something is rare? A 1-of-100 stamp Charizard is rare forever. That is a fact. It doesn't matter if the Pokemon Company prints another billion cards next year. The value in scarcity is locked in. And that makes big investors who are nervous about putting their money into a market with infinite supply feel safe. Which leads to the idea of a two-track hobby. The argument is that this could be the best for both worlds. On one track, you have cheap, mass-produced cards for collectors, kids, and the casual players. They can collect and play without ever having to think about the insane high-end market. On the other track, you have ultra-rare, serialized cards that bring in millionaire investors, the sports card whales, and the MTG high rollers. The theory is that the craze over that high-end track, with the multi-million-dollar sales, the mainstream news, the celebrity buyers, is going to act like a giant commercial for the entire brand. The hype from the One Ring card didn't just sell expensive collector packs. It put Magic in front of millions of people who had never even heard of it. A rising tide lifts all ships. The money and the attention from the investor class could, in theory, help make the hobby cheaper for everybody else. It also solves the problem of people hoarding sealed boxes. As more and more boxes get printed, the long-term value of keeping that box sealed goes down. But a box that could have a serialized card inside will always sell for more money. And that protects the sealed market, which is a huge part of the hobby's secondary market. This isn't an argument that comes from pure love of the game. It's an argument that comes from pure market logic. It sees Pokemon not as a collection of memories, but a financial portfolio. It sees serialized cards not as a threat to the hobby's soul, but as a necessary step to guarantee its financial growth in a world full of collectibles. So here we are, at a massive crossroads. One path is the Pokemon TCG we know, a world of amazing art and the shared thrill of a pull, even if they do print billions of cards. The other path is a new world, one defined by fake scarcity, lottery-style chases, and a clear line between people who have it all and everybody else. A world where one card can be worth millions, and because of that, it makes every other card feel like nothing. There's no easy answer here. The arguments for serialization are based on solid financial ideas that have worked in other hobbies. And in a world of infinite printing, it guarantees value. But what is the cost of that guarantee? For me, the cost is the magic of the hobby itself. The fun of Pokemon has never been about owning the most expensive thing. Okay, some of it is that, but it's also that your collection feels like it's a piece of art. It's about the excitement of pulling that card that you've been dying to get, no matter how much it's worth. It's about the community that you share that with. The current system with its rarity tiers like the Mega Hyper Rares and Special Illustration Rares give us a huge chase without having to slap a soulless number on a card. The value for a lot of us is in the art and not the math. To bring in serialization would be to admit that the art, the nostalgia, and the shared experience aren't enough. It would be giving in to the idea that the only way to generate hype is through a manufactured high-stakes lottery. It risks turning a hobby about passion into a passionless stock market, kicking out the very fans who built this community and turning it into the playground for the super rich. The Pokemon Company has a choice to make. It can chase the short-term, explosive hype of a multi-million-dollar headline, or it can protect the health and soul of the community that has supported it for decades. Pokemon can split the hobby in two, or it can remember what made it special in the first place. But this is bigger than my opinion. This is a conversation for our whole community. This change would affect every single one of us. What do you think? Would serialization save Pokemon's future, or would it destroy its magic? Are you hyped for the chase of a one-of-one, or is the current system good enough? No matter which side of this you're on, try to keep your comments respectful, but let me know what you think below. Before I get out of here, I need to announce the winner of the Perfect Order ETB from last week's video. Congratulations, Rob Ladokas. My email is going to be in the description of the video. Shoot me an email and I'm going to give you a phrase to reply back to your comment so that way we know it's you and I'll get this thing sent out to you. And for everybody else who didn't win, don't worry. That 151 booster bundle that I talked about earlier in the video, this is your chance to win it. Just comment one of one down below. We'll use the YouTube random comment selector and announce the winner in the next video. And don't forget, keep stacking, protect your assets, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.